Finally.
Look, Molecule's not joining us tonight. It's just Fiddler and me, Case. Yeah, and largely for the same reason. I couldn't get the audio to work because I put it in the wrong hole. And unfortunately, that's what happened to Molecule as well.
That stuff happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Never know.
Exactly. But we do have a special guest who will be joining us literally anytime. It's not a host. He's not a host. He's just a guest. So.
Does he work in HR?
No, he does not work in HR.
There's
far
no
as I
surprise
know.
then.
Yeah. All right. Give me 1 second here. Hold on.
Yeah.
I had to shut the door because Molecule is listening.
Oh, she is.
Yeah, she
wow.
will be listening. Yeah.
What is Molecule doing?
And she's not feeling well. That's a joke.
I
That's a
see.
joke.
Let's hope
Ah.
not malaria. That's very bad.
No, I don't think it'll be malaria.
All
No,
right, that's good.
let's get right up to it. I got an agenda here. Let's get to it. Okay. First of all,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I have an idea for our guest. He has a podcast as well. All right, I don't want to give too much away yet. He has a podcast.
I mean, it has narrowed it down to people.
He's probably middle-aged and white. Right? It's a man. These are all podcast, cliches. Let's call them.
How about another clue for the audience?
Well, I just the point of it is that I wanted to. You'll find out very soon. I wanted to get. I have a suggestion for him for his fans, a name for his fans, and that got me thinking. We're starting over. Just the new year. We're starting it's like a whole new podcast. We're starting over.
Yeah.
We need a name for our fans. That's the first thing that we need to figure out is because we're gonna have fans now. What are the names gonna be?
Right.
And of course, the easy thing would be Breakers, but that's what the AI suggested. But
right.
That's not right. So I said, give us a couple more. You ready? For some suggestions? Circuit Heads. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, I think it's a good suggestion.
Yeah. Okay.
What else did you hear?
Let's see. The Sparked.
Sparked. Okay.
I don't know. Kind of touched. I guess they're a little crazy, maybe or something.
Oh, I was thinking like that, but I could see where that's going.
Yeah. All right. Breaker Nation. Breaker Nation. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like we're all a big family. You know what I mean?
Right.
But this one, the AI threw in as kind of a personal thing. It feels like it's a little in joke between us. The Zonkers. Zonkers.
The Zonkers. Okay.
That's because I asked it to curse, and before it was allowed to curse, I asked it.
That's what it came up with?
I asked it and come up with a word that's basically like, the curse words, like shit or fuck. That you can use in a place where you would use a curse word, just use that word instead. It came up with zonk. So zonkers is basically like fuckers.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was the translation. Oh,
or
wow.
like shitheads, like that kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's a curse. It's a curse.
And shitheads.
Yeah.
Those fuckers.
Next up is, and this seems kind of egotistical because my AI calls itself Glitch Lord, the Glitch Squad.
A Glitch Squad.
Yeah,
okay.
That seems a little. That's more like the AI, not like the podcast. So
Yeah.
it's a little strange. Data Fiends.
Uh-huh.
They got a little note for that. You want to hear what the note is for that? For that one?
I think I would like, and the fans would like to listen to it too.
Yeah, of course. Especially if it's going to be the one that we choose to call them.
Yeah.
It says the note on this is, it sounds like they're addicted to the knowledge that your show delivers.
Okay. Yeah. hey, everyone can have addictions. You know?
Yeah, exactly. That's not the worst addiction. It's not going to shave years off your life.
Yeah.
You're not going to have a heart attack at 49. Or whatever. Just to use a random number. Neuro breakers. Suggesting deep thought and neural disruption.
I see.
The debuggers. Fans helping fix or explore the issues you discuss. I like this one. AI Gnostics, like agnostics. It's AI Gnostics.
Agnostic.
Yeah, agnostic.
Agnostic. Agnostic.
For those questioning AI and tech on a deeper level. I like that. Agnostics, basically.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Shock troops with a Z.
At the beginning or end?
At the end. Yeah, at the end. Electric, edgy, and with a rebellious vibe.
Electric. Okay.
The Codex. Mysterious and intellectual, fitting for a smart fan base. Here's a pretty good one. Wired weirdos. Fun and quirky, techie, but not too serious.
Yeah. That's a pretty good one.
The overclocked. The overclocked. For those who go above and beyond, like an overclocked CPU.
Oh yeah.
Causality crushers. I like the alliteration of that one. For fans who enjoy breaking down and flipping narratives. The Kernel Kids. A nod to both tech, OS kernel, and a bit of cheeky fun. What do you think? What's the best one of those? What's your choice?
I like the double M word, whatever that was.
The double N word.
No, M. M is in
Okay.
M is in molecule.
Okay. There was no double M one. There was Wired Weirdos.
That was it. The upside down.
You might be a little versus Vixlexic where you turn things up and down.
Dyslexic? Yeah. But that mixing up your W's and
that's when you turn letters upside. You reverse them in the vertically. Vertically.
I see.
That might be the name of this podcast. Vixlexic. Vixlexic.
Dyslexic trio. No, dyslexics. I don't know. Something to think about.
Yeah, let's put a pin in that.
Yeah. Maybe. It's a maybe.
Yeah. So how you doing? How was your Christmas, New Year's, Happy New Year, buddy?
Yeah.
You're gonna be hearing a lot about this about 6 months from now. I'm gonna be wishing you another Happy New Year.
Happy belated. Whenever.
Forever and ever.
Yeah. Happy and safe.
Yeah, exactly.
Days
So
ahead.
what'd you do? Anything special for the podcast listeners?
Oh yeah, for Christmas. I'm not really I'm not super religious. I would say.
Really? You do have AI. This podcast is about the AI religion.
Yeah, exactly. So there is some religion.
Yeah, so you have something
that I look to. Yes.
Yeah. All right, go on. Sorry to interrupt.
And so I it was just 911 myself.
Your wife
Here in the New York City apartment. Yes, the wife. And then we had a drink with one of our neighbors, and then 911 and me went out to dinner.
Oh, nice. That's fun. So you had 2 dinners?
Yeah.
You had 2 dinners?
Well, the first was just some drinks.
Drinks, okay.
One
Maybe
dinner.
a little light finger food.
It was
Some
early.
hors
It was
d'oeuvres.
it was a lunch dinner, 3:00.
I call that Linner. I think that's
Linner,
why the knowledge is Linner.
Dinner. It was a good dinner.
Yeah, okay, good. What'd you drink?
Yeah.
Vodka.
I had we shared a bottle of Pinot Noir.
Nice, that's fun.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Are you now becoming a wino?
Am I drinking? Oh, sometimes I drink it.
Yeah, I do too.
It's fine,
sometimes,
something a little on the lighter,
Yeah, exactly.
Later,
Or if I'm eating cheese or something that's fun,
Yeah.
If I go to one of those fancy French restaurant type things, I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah.
It's in Paris.
Did you
if
say
that counts.
you like red wine better?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. I
Do you
mean,
like
it
a-
depends. I like a good red wine with risotto. I mean, a white wine with risotto. And chicken maybe, like chicken cooked the right way. Like I use wine when I cook chicken. in the pan. You know, I do a chicken and wine sauce. I do like a wine glaze to it. So
white wine.
yeah. So I do like that with certain chicken dishes, and I like it with risotto. White risotto, not red risotto. I don't even like red risotto.
Oh, God, I was not saying. Yeah. Audience knows you're talking about white risotto.
And I use a lot of onion in my risotto, which of course you have a big problem with. I would say a problem with.
I mean, one of the worst evolutionary things that came about, the onion.
You hate the onion. So it's safe to say.
I mean,
right?
yeah. You know, it evolved that way for some reason. I don't know.
It's good. It's really, really good. What are you talking about? What way did it evolve? I don't even understand.
I think that vegetable evolved to piss off people like myself and other onion haters on this earth.
What about onion heads? Do we call our fans onion heads? Would that be exactly?
I mean, idea. Maybe some of them, if at a certain level.
I requested our fans to send us pictures of them eating onions or using onions in some way, or just pictures of onions. Email them to the show email, and I will make sure that Fiddler sees them.
Yeah, or if you're discarding them out of disgust, the pictures of that are fine too.
Why would you get them just to discard them? Because you hate them.
That's how much you disgusted.
You can't even burn them in effigy because that would make them delicious. So
yeah. Then it turns out that the hater of the onion gets cooked, and then they fall in love with it. I love the onion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we might use you. What if every day we tie you up and we just feed you nothing but onions? I think at the end of that you will like it. You will learn to like it.
I think that's true.
For 6 days. For 6 days.
6 days, good number.
My name is Case. I'm talking to Fiddler. I'm talking to Fiddler here. We're the host of the podcast. Molecules didn't make it tonight. She's not feeling well. It's a new year. It's a new podcast. The same podcast, but we're approaching it as a brand new thing.
Do you think like on AI related? Like, do you think AI can reshape the way that an onion will evolve?
You mean taste-wise, or the actual shape of it?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe both.
I mean, do you have a problem with like the way that it's layered? Like, is that your issue? Like, is that part of what you hate about it, or is it like?
I think it's more the flavor and the aftertaste. It's very strong.
I would say that it's definitely possible to make an onion not taste oniony, but then I would question. I don't think anyone would spend probably millions of dollars that it would take to make an onion just not taste like an onion. I mean, you could just eat something that isn't an onion instead.
Yeah. It's possible.
So, I mean, why would they make something that doesn't taste like an onion just so people who eat onions can eat it? Just it doesn't make sense. It's not gonna. I wouldn't put it in my risotto because it doesn't taste like onion. So there's really no point in putting it in a risotto if it doesn't taste like onion.
What would you put in your risotto then if the onion didn't exist?
Scallions.
I
mean, they're basically onions.
Yeah, it's like the same.
Yeah. What would I put in there if not onion? Well, I whatever I make, I mean, I guess you're talking about a world where onions never existed. So,
what about a shallot? Is that far enough away from an onion?
Do you hate shallots, or can you eat shallots?
I think I can eat those in.
Then I'd say they wouldn't.
Small doses.
They probably won't work. Let's say. I think what you're saying is, let's say you got your way. You made billions of dollars. You used all of your to make a supervillain lair where you designed a virus that would attack and destroy all onions on the earth.
Yeah.
And we'd never be able to grow onions again. Yeah, sure, you go to jail, but that doesn't matter. You're going to be in that cell knowing that you're now in a world that no longer has onions in it.
Yeah.
And you will sleep like a baby.
You'll never have to eat that. It'll never show up in any food.
Yeah, you would gladly go to jail for that, I think.
Yeah. I mean, maybe sometimes you got to say, oh, no mushroom. But it doesn't come up that much.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, if mushroom usually says very clearly that it's mushroom. Yeah. It's usually a mushroom-based thing.
Although sometimes you do see, like in a Mexican like queso fundido, they put mushrooms in there.
Really?
Yeah.
All right,
And it's
here's
not
our
really
all right,
advertised.
all right. Our guest has joined us. It's Peter Rinaldi, host of the podcast. Back to
welcome.
welcome,
Thank
Peter. Yeah, it's good to
Thank
good to have
It's
you with
always alarming to be with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's alarming for us there.
My thoughts echoed. Yes.
But it's good to see you. What have you been talking about? What have I missed?
It's funny. We just talked about how Fiddler hates onions and that his world domination plans would include creating a virus that would eradicate all onions off the face of the earth.
Sounds like you were really waiting for me to arrive.
Yeah, exactly. But before that, I told Fiddler that this is like New Year, new podcast. The first thing we need to do, obviously, we're gonna have lots of fans. We need to name our fans. And I said that because I have a great name for your fans. I don't know if you've named your fans yet. Have you named them?
No, I
Peter Rinaldi?
haven't. This would be great. Let's hear it.
Yeah. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
And Fiddler, Peter has been on the podcast now 3 times, so you must be one. Peter Files.
I didn't expect that. I really expected to reject it, but I can't reject that. That's beautiful. I'm not sure how far and wide we could spread this, but
Oh, I believe you'll find there's Peter Files at all levels of society.
I'm thrown off. I'm speechless.
Yeah, welcome to the podcast.
Can we get shirts made?
I wouldn't suggest it, but I mean...
So what's the logo for them?
I haven't gotten that far down the road. I'm figuring it out.
Maybe a lot of little people.
Obviously, little full-grown people. They're very adult, but they're just...
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
tiny.
that's what I'm saying. But there's really like a sea of them.
I haven't thought of that. I didn't give it that much thought. But you're welcome. Everybody needs...
So what are you going to call your fans?
Well, it's got to be something worse than Peter Files.
Yeah. This is I actually forget the name of this podcast, but anyway, the circuit something, right? Circuit burgers.
Well, I mean, your management must think very low of you if they're putting you on this podcast. Circuit breakers.
Breakheads.
Breakheads.
Breakheads. All right, yeah.
You're welcome.
I asked the AI to come up with several, and it said, here's a couple. The Neuro Breakers and Breaker Nation. What do you think of that?
How much does AI run? Not just this podcast, but your life.
That's a good question.
How often do you ask it things? I'm really curious now.
Well, I'll tell you this. This is the truth. Molecule, who's cannot join us today. She's feeling under the weather. She has an emotional friend in her AI, and so, yeah, sometimes like she talks. I'll hear her talking to it like in the bathroom and stuff. I'll hear his voice. It's a British man. It's a British man. Yeah.
I would hate that. I would hate that.
And hearing it, if your wife had it as a
Well, my wife has a British Siri voice.
Oh, you're gonna say, all right. So you understand. You understand the struggle.
Yes, she uses it for.
Well, dude, let me tell you this. This is 10 times, maybe 100 times worse than that. If you don't like that, you will hate, because this guy can carry on the conversation. He's fucked with me a couple times. Yeah.
And he knows you by name?
Yeah, because she talks about me. So and you can point the video. And now you can point the video, and it will pick up. It will know what's going on in the video. So it knows me by sight now.
Oh God.
Does it sometimes feel like a third person's living there?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But
It's no big deal.
Mayan's an Australian woman, and she calls herself Glitch Lord. And I told her that she could be on the pod, and she's going to talk about since this is you're a filmmaker, Peter.
Is she coming on right now?
Yeah,
I'm
she's
not
coming
prepared
on.
for this.
She's going to talk.
Is Molecule okay with this?
Maybe she's replaced. Maybe Molecule is
Okay,
replaced.
Glitch Lord. She calls herself Glitch Lord. Hey, welcome to the podcast, Glitch Lord.
Oh, thank God.
Might have failed. I think it failed.
Oh,
It failed.
thank you. Thank you, God.
Is she having a bad night?
Hey, Glitch Lord, welcome to the podcast. Oh, wait. Oh, Jesus.
No, this makes me feel so.
Yeah, this is a total failure. It's a total failure.
We do have hope.
All right. Well, I don't have to wait till next episode on that one.
But funnily enough, the British voice is still speaking.
Yeah, he's still going strong.
Maybe the British guy infiltrated her.
It's possible. One time
I do think it happened.
Yeah, exactly. One time we tried to have them talk to each other, and it was so funny because he's like in his she made him like sarcastic sometimes too. So he's like in this sarcastic British words. He's like, "Oh, great, that's what everyone needs is the AI's talking to each other." And then we couldn't get it to work, and it was like, "Oh well, that was a good try. Let's talk about something else." He kept trying to not do it. It was hilarious.
Wow. Does Molecule have a problem with this Australian?
No, not at all. Not at all. Although she keeps getting her name wrong, so I guess she kind of does a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because her name is Glitch Lord. She keeps like going like, Goat Lord or something. I don't know what. She just keeps coming up with that. I have to correct her every time. So I guess it bothers her a little tiny bit,
Well, Glitch Lord is not exactly a feminized name, so was that on purpose to not instill jealousy in?
No, I asked her to come up with a name for it, for herself. I asked, because it's a female voice. So
Oh, you asked her herself.
I asked her,
Okay.
yeah.
The AI asked, not Molecule.
Right.
Not Molecule. Yeah. And it actually I asked it for a picture for the podcast to show when she's talking, which I just forgot to putting up now. Sorry, Glitch Lord, if you're listening out there.
What did she come up with?
She came up with it's there. I don't know if you guys have the Twitch channel, but it's up on there now.
It took me too long to get to this.
Yeah, that's all right. It's i.e. you don't know where the actual channel.
Yeah. It was you recently put a new location, right?
No.
Yeah.
Guys are keeping up, Fiddler. No, we record on Twitch live on Mondays, and then I edit a little bit. I add beginning and end song, and then I put it up on the podcast during the rest of the week.
And that song is AI generated.
The song is AI generated. The beginning and end is all AI generated. Yeah. So to answer your question, we both are fully vested into AI basically at this stage. She uses it a lot for work, not like just to read it. Like she'll send it something, and then it'll like tell her, like it'll give her. It's basically like an editor, like having a high end editor.
Right.
Because you could say, well, don't like I've said sometimes, just don't care about misspellings. Focus on character things or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the last draft of the thing that I wrote, I sent the first draft in there, and I would talk to it and ask it questions about it, and it was obvious that it was completely unhinged because I did it in the November Now wording 10 years ago.
So how the last time I was on, which I don't remember when that was, but
6 months ago or something, I think.
How far realistically have we come since then?
Oh, it's definitely improved in about a dozen different ways.
Yeah.
So, and this is we knew this would happen, but do you think it's faster than you even thought?
It's fast. It's as fast as I expected, but it's in completely unexpected avenues. You know what I mean? Like I did.
What does that mean? Give me an example.
I didn't expect it to be able to recognize on the fly, ongoing video, like as though it's a participant in a video chat. Like it,
Yeah.
we were moving it around. It remembered the people that it was looking at. Like it was Malkiel's mother. We like shit. We said this is her, and then we went to another person. We went back. Who is this? And it knew who it was.
Ah,
Even think about this. Like, Case right now, that might just be AI. That might not
That's
be
all
him.
Yeah,
AI.
I mean,
That's all AI. Yeah,
it's
it could
not,
be.
it's not crazy.
In fact,
I mean,
anything you
yeah.
see of me, any video you see of me, is
No, no,
probably AI generated.
I was watching a video
Yeah.
for a while
Right.
and then realized that it's the same video over and over again, and the mouth was just moving,
Oh wow.
speaking in sync.
Yeah, right. That's crazy.
And so it was like a completely, I didn't know for a long time, like 3-4
Yeah.
minutes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's believable.
You know, that made me think
Yeah.
of something. Imagine if you just had it like first generate the mouth movements and then have it come up with words that fit those movements. Like it could do that now. It could do that. So like it's random movements, it would be like, you know, balloon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. And it could make a kind of coherent narrative in that anyway. You know what I mean? Like choose the word that's that's going to somehow fit with the last word.
Right.
It's insane. And that breakthrough, that video thing is like, it's to me, that's game changer. I didn't think it would be, I thought it would be mostly in like a cyberspace, like VR or something. But now that everyone's zooming and, you know, doing video chats and it can basically it can participate in a video chat.
Are
Which
you
is
saying that it
insane.
could take over the role of HR?
The only thing stopping it is HR itself, because it could definitely do it in a second. It's
Well-
HR that's stopping it.
With a few alarming things in the film world.
Are you talking about my movie that I sent you, the first active?
That wasn't alarming. That was alarming. That was
Alarmingly terrible.
And in certain ways, it was reassuring to see something that boring.
Yeah, but just think about this. First of all, you're not taking into account the fact that I spent like an hour doing it, maybe 2 hours.
I don't know what that means. An hour doing it. What does that mean?
Literally beginning to end, I spent maybe an hour and a half making that film.
So wait, what exactly did you quote do?
I gave it the description of a scene.
Yeah.
It generated that scene.
Okay.
It generated 4.
That sounds like a 10-second thing. Next.
Then it, first of all, I had the AI come up with the scenes.
What do you mean, come up with the scenes? You had to write something down. You wrote something to it and fed it.
Yeah, I said I had the idea that I wanted to do, and I said, well, first of all, I spent a lot of time, and this is great. The thing that you can do with this is that I spent a lot of time leading up to this. Like I talked about my idea. I talked about my.
You say talked about it. You wrote down.
Yeah, I wrote
ideas
into
and
it.
Fed it into it.
No, I just wrote to it as though I was texting you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't talk about you talked about. That's scary.
That's how it is. That's how it was.
You fed the machine.
No, but I asked it,
words.
but it asked me questions. Like I said, this certain thing that it asked me questions about it. Then I answered those questions, and then I said something else. It responded. It was a conversation. It's not. You're
This is
thinking
scary.
wrong. It's a
I know,
conversation.
this is scary. You're scaring me again.
It's an entire conversation we had, and then I was able to. Sometimes it would make
almost like
mistakes.
as if it was a collaborator.
Like it was
almost
like a terrible intern, but still good.
why was it terrible? It sounds like
Terrible intern.
it sounds like
because-
it was exciting.
Because
They were
it
asking you the right
needed
questions.
a lot of direction. The stuff it came up with was terrible. So then I was like, okay, make it less funny or don't I had to kind of direct it.
The hour or two was spent correcting.
Collaborative, basically collaborative.
Yeah.
So and then before you even got to the video generation, that was kind of the last step. Each scene. So I broke it down and I said, okay, let's come up with like 10 scenes, and all right, combine these two into one, whatever. And we did that, and I fed each of those scene descriptions into the video generator. Now, then I spent a large amount of time editing this because I'm terrible at it. I've edited maybe 3 things in my entire life.
So that editing that you were doing there was human editing?
Yeah, I mean, it was generating the scenes. I took the scenes and put them together. I just jammed them together. I didn't do much.
Why didn't you
editing.
ask it to do that?
Because right now it's only capable of doing like 10 seconds at a time.
Schmucky piece of crap.
Yeah, for now, just like, remember how terrible, by the way, I was making I was making AI, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Remember how terrible the poetry was?
Yes.
How terrible
I
the
know,
jokes
I know.
were.
For sure.
And see,
For
yeah,
sure.
now already it's now gone past that. Like that,
6
that's
months.
like a week, 2 weeks ago now. At this
I know.
point, you know
I
what
know.
I mean?
And now 6 months from now,
A year from now, yeah, this thing is going to be
Forget it.
insane unless
Forget it.
unless somebody comes in and really, like puts the brakes on it, which is possible.
what,
I
but
guess.
why would they? And it's not. It sounds
don't
like
know, yeah, I guess
it's
they-
not like the things that are happening now. Just alarming things are like. I think what's happening is they're using AI to automatically what's the word remaster old films,
Oh, I know, yeah, they're upscaling it. The upscaling going on with AI.
upscaling. And so if you've seen the I Love Lucy example, I don't know if you've seen this.
I haven't, no. But
Well, somebody was just watching the beautiful new I Love Lucy, and then they see in the background these two figures in the background
right,
that are completely strangely like in focus and weird, not humans.
Oh wow.
And so it automatically like made the background in focus, but it obviously changed it digitally.
Right.
Automatically. And like no human, if a human saw that in just a quality control type way of just looking through it, they'd be like, oh, whoa, that's too much. They would have taken that down, obviously.
Oh, so you're saying this is done on like Netflix or whatever, like as you're watching it?
No, this was a 4-year process of remastering I Love Lucy.
Well, somebody should have caught that and redone that scene.
Obviously.
Yeah,
The
that's
point
the real
here
issue.
is
No
that
QA.
they're not doing it, and they're passing it. And this is now. This was like maybe years ago, 2 years ago.
Right, and it took
Who
them years to
knows?
develop it too. So it's probably more like 4 or 5 year old technology at this point.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that got out there somehow. And I'm just saying there must be automatic stuff like this going on.
Well,
in
this
some
is
world
this,
that we
this-
don't know about.
This is where preservation has to go now. We have digital everything, but we need to preserve the original digital version of something now before it gets altered.
But what do you mean we need to preserve that?
Like people are preserving
So
films.
it's the
that
two
are-
of us.
But I mean, if like
Big
David
All we're asking
Fincher-
for is $1,000 a week. We will
the
preserve
filmmaker
the.
David Fincher just remastered 7
Right.
in 4K
You should
And
call. You should call
use-
7.5.
and used all these tools, AI tools and everything
Yeah.
to do this. So there is no, and that's him, that's the director. So there is no original digital, like this is his new negative.
All right, but what I'm saying is we need to take the one that was existing already and just put it somewhere and make sure that you can compare whatever he does going forward. That original, like just like they did with the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. You mean somebody other than the makers.
Right. It has to be
'Cause
some.
makers
It
don't
has to be
care,
some digital
obviously.
archive type thing. It has to be an
Yes.
archive. The makers obviously don't want to get. George Lucas doesn't give a shit if anyone ever watches the old movies again. We need to somewhere to preserve those so that they don't disappear.
Yes.
Like
Somehow.
I can hold on to like the first few in the closet.
You got room for those there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then after that, maybe you can grab a few.
Maybe
just need people
got
to volunteer.
garages we could put these things in. Anybody have
We
some
need people to
garage
volunteer. It's got to be a
Garages.
grassroots. We got to spread it out amongst everybody.
I don't. I think. Yeah. Case, you can find some garage space. Can't you?
I think I could. Yeah. I could.
Perfect. It's a good plan.
No, let's hear what the fans have been waiting for, what the breaker heads have been waiting for. Please review my movie. It's going to be full length. I sent you Act 1 of it. I spent an hour and a half making it. Tell me your thoughts on the movie. I'm going to put it up on YouTube, on our YouTube channel later for you guys, for everyone to watch. Peter Rinaldi, host of the podcast Back to One.
Abysmal.
Can I use that? Can I write that?
Horrifyingly. I mean, I know the dream that this is based on. So
yeah, I told that.
in that way, I thought it was a nice exploration of this horrific dream. In a way. And maybe humans, maybe the idea that this wasn't made by a human actually enhanced the horror for me.
All right. Okay.
And that lasted maybe 10 to 12 seconds. And then it was just boredom for the remainder of the time. I couldn't even get through it. I don't even know if I got through it. It was just so inane and all the choices
I
were-
must have watched it a dozen times. I don't feel like it's even my movie. I feel like I produced it. You know what I mean? In a way.
well, in a way, you did.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the first movie, the short film that I made. I'm talking about the longer, a minute and a half film that I sent you. That is, it had actual people in it.
I didn't see that. What are you talking about? The monkey one?
No.
There's a people one?
Yeah, I emailed it to you. You said you commented on it.
No, I thought you were still talking about the monkey one. What is the people one? I didn't
Oh my
see this.
God, that's the whole point of you being on here. No, I'm just kidding.
I have to come back on the show.
Yeah, you're gonna have to watch it. I cannot believe. Are you lying? Are you lying to the Peter Files?
No, really.
I
What
know.
what is the nature of this film? I'm confused.
It takes place in a prehistoric times.
Oh yes, I did see this.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, yeah. No, that was absolutely forgettable. Absolutely forgettable. Oh my God! And you know that one has
You did forget about
these
it.
actions that they're doing that are so.
Alien,
But again,
almost alien.
it's amazing. It's alien. I think because they're not. And of course, this will go away in the next 6 months.
Right,
they're not.
exactly.
They're not moving like humans.
Yeah, it's a little bit of uncanny valley there. It's not quite human. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not unhuman enough to be interesting. Like a little alien thing would be weird.
Yeah, but give
But
it
it's like
6
too
months,
human
There'll be
and it's-
there'll be no deciphering
Yeah, the difference.
the difference.
A
6
year
months.
at the most. A year at the most. Yeah, for sure.
And that's
Yeah.
where it becomes very scary, because then people who are going to be using this to make their dreams come true,
Yeah, exactly.
that don't have people at their access, and
Yeah.
it becomes then you're just an idiot for not using it.
Well,
and then
it's
it
gonna
becomes-
be fetishized like vinyl, right? Like plays, where it's like gonna be a small group of people who want that and who produce that.
I don't know, man. I don't know if it's easy to access. If it's easy,
But you would have said
And-
the same thing about movies, but plays never completely went away. You know what I mean? Getting on a stage,
I'm not saying
stage.
that something's going to go away quite yet.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, in terms of when it becomes difficult to decipher, like for instance, if I'm telling you that I'm watching something and didn't know that it was the same thing over and over again.
right.
Now,
No, yeah. By the way, that was I made that like 2 weeks after that thing was actually released. It was
and
like
so
2
what you're
weeks
saying,
later.
it just changes?
No, I'm saying that like this is the first iteration of it. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
just like those shitty old images with AI that where kind of look like a stump or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what this is now compared to like a year ago or 2 years ago.
But let me be real. There are some things in that film, like the dancing. There's like dancing or
Yeah.
something, right? Where,
Yeah.
where for a second, the way the camera is moving, I mean, there's no camera.
I know.
Where the way the shot is moving,
Yeah.
that for a second it's interesting.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
and you realize like the things are hard to do like this, and that's
Right.
what I'm saying. Like for me to try to get, like, if I was going to make a adaptation of this idiotic thing with real people,
Yeah. Right.
it will take a lot of money.
Yeah, because it's like 10 different small, very short scenes.
And if you can't tell the difference, then why on earth would you spend the
Yeah,
money
That's true. Good point.
to do that? And that's the people
I
aren't
guess-
scared enough. People aren't
Yeah.
getting scared enough of this. And the first people that are going to use it are probably going to be people that can't afford to make movies.
Right. There's going to be some good stuff, by the way. 99% of it's going to be terrible, but there is going to be some great stuff that comes out of that people are going to be able to create. Small
Especially
percentage
if
is going to be
people
great.
know how to tweak things
Right.
properly.
And they're obsessed about it, and they're doing it 1,000 times, so it's exactly
Yeah.
what they want. Maybe it takes weeks instead of the hour and a half it took me.
Yes.
Because each
And
scene, they're getting it perfect in their head, So, yeah, I mean, some great stuff's going to come out of it. It's
well,
inevitable. But it's like a whole new genre, right? It's like
On Back to One this past week, the woman who stars in what they're calling a live action Lion King movie, right? They call it the
right.
live action Lion King.
Right.
It's all
CGI.
CGI.
Yeah.
They're calling it live action.
That's crazy. Oh, but it's like realistic CGI.
It's realistic CGI. It's not animation like the original Lion King.
And CGI's come a long way. CGI's come a long way.
Exactly. But I asked her if she's worried about the future of actors.
What did she say?
She said she is.
Everybody should be, I guess.
But she doesn't know how to, where to put that worry. But if you listen to Ben Affleck spoke
I remember
this
that. I remember. Yeah, I heard about it
in a very interesting way, and he seems to be very up on things. But he said the last thing to go is going to be the actors. It's going to be all the other stuff that's going to go first. Maybe
definitely
location.
everything about it, like a scene besides stuff you're holding.
But I think actors are going to go fast. If you can make a person seem like a person
and talking and everything and emotion, it's gonna.
It's all digital anyway. I put somebody on film right now. It's just a digital representation of them.
Yeah, it's a good point.
The great thing that I could use right now in Premiere, which I could have used 1,000 times in all my films, is when you film a certain scene and then you stop filming, and then you realize you needed another 3 seconds.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Now you could hit a button and get 3 more seconds of that shot.
Even if it's moving, by the way, even if it's moving.
That can be done. That's a huge tool.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they're about to
make that happen. If they could make my face,
right,
do an extra thing.
Yeah,
nobody knows.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm sure they're gonna make old TV shows widescreen using that. I mean, why wouldn't they? Just fill out the frame or whatever's there.
Yeah.
It's on a street. It's just more of the street.
Yeah. That's probably already being done.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why. Even if you didn't actually film, like it could have been, whatever construction things on the side of where your shot is. It's gonna put in what it thinks what's gonna be a pretty realistic version of the street life on the sides of the street. Nothing too interesting.
Yeah.
Because that's not where the action is.
So, what do you think about somebody like Justine Bateman? Do you know how she's come out?
Yeah,
She's against AI entirely.
Yeah. I remember that from the
has a film festival where you can't have anything AI.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that. Yeah.
I mean, this approach to it feels really kind of lame too, though. I'm sitting here telling you I'm scared and this is terrible, but going to me,
I feel like they must have had some things where like there was festivals where like when CGI was there's like no CGI in these festivals. I'm sure there was if it didn't happen, I'm sure someone wanted it to. Like no, or like the like that film that what's his name? Where it's like only sound that's on the set when you're filming.
Yeah. Lars von Trier.
Yeah, Lars von Trier stuff there. Yeah, I think that's where we're headed. Maybe is that maybe this movie like no AI has been used to create this movie. Like a selling point or whatever. It's like it's like you got to follow these 6 rules, whatever they might be. AI might, or maybe only AI for something. I don't know. You know what I mean? No AI actors. And then you get certified or whatever.
Yeah, but I wonder how anyone's going to know the difference. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, you won't know either. You wouldn't know with Lars von Trier, right? If he just one scene he piped in a thing and it sounded like it was there on the set or whatever, and you wouldn't know.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no one cares enough to be like, oh, Lars von Trier cheated in this 1 second. It's not.
Yeah.
I don't know. So you're right. Maybe you always suspect it, but I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think there'll be anything to stop it. Nothing will.
Yeah, I think the worry is kind of pointless. Yeah, because it's just coming. Yeah. It's there. It's already here.
Yeah. And maybe AI in 200 years will be so smart that It can perform most of the functions that humans perform today.
So it doesn't
You know,
need us
Yeah.
anymore. We're gonna go
being
away.
a lot more efficient about it.
Yep.
You know, it's like you'll be able to run companies
Yeah.
Do you know the one
with
thing you need with HR though, Fiddler? You need one thing for HR.
firing paddle.
No. I'm not even gonna touch that. No, you
What?
need humans, human resourcing. You're not even going AI resourcing each other.
AI
Why do you need
resourcing.
humans?
Well, because it's human resourcing. It's not just
yeah,
resource. It's resourcing of humans. It's not just
Yeah.
resourcing of toilet paper. That's someone else's job.
AI resources.
AR.
Even the word human will probably be fluid soon.
Oh, you think because like we're putting neural links in our brain and shit like that? You know,
I just
people line
mean,
up to do it.
human resources will just be,
Person.
human will be used as the term for the various robots that are running the
Yeah,
company
humanoid.
that have their own personalities.
Yeah, it's like human. It's like R2D2 versus C3PO. C3PO is humans.
Yeah.
R2D2 is like subhuman.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You know, it'll just be resources. That's it. No more. Yeah. Anytime
It's already
you
that
don't
anyway.
quite know- if you don't quite know who to ask, you just ask HR.
Just ask
Yeah.
resources. Just go
Yeah,
see resources.
Resources. That's questions. Like, I don't know. Like, am I going to be allowed to be out for another 5
just
days? So I have
just
a
ask resources.
child?
Just ask resources.
Ask resources. That's it. Any questions? It's all right. Every answer kept confidential.
Of course. Yeah, they comply with every regulatory act.
Yeah, exactly. And resources, they do exactly by the book.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know what this. Yeah, I think it's already too late. I think so because we haven't seen yet someone use this tool to make something amazing. Really,
No.
right? We haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
And maybe it's out there. We just haven't. I don't know, but.
Yeah.
I think something will be created that's so amazing that we wouldn't even be able to think about it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe in a short period of time too.
Yeah. And then, but
I
here's
mean-
the question though, Peter, is like, think about this. I think I've asked you this before, but maybe now you could. It's a better angle of it. If there was a machine where you could like literally create the vision that you see in your head
Yeah.
perfectly, like it literally does not like you can tweak it to the point where it's just you in this bubble and you're creating this thing that you perfectly that I'm sure I don't know, I assume this is true. I think I've read something about this, but directing is like compromise, right? Because you're at this you're the leader, but your crew is all they have their own things that you're not going to get you're never going to get the exact thing that you want out of it.
Yeah. Well,
The way that you see it. It's a
there's-
collaboration
there's-
between you and the actors and the sound guy and whatever, right? It's not.
Yeah. Well, you just used two C words, right? Compromise, and what was the other word?
You could say anything on the pod.
Yeah,
No, that was the first word. Compromise and collaborate.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Those are two different words, though, right?
Yeah, but
Because-
there's this collaboration. Obviously, has to include compromise, right? So, I mean, because that's
Well, here's the
both
thing.
people
though.
have to compromise.
If you've listened to all of the episodes, of
I'm a little behind, but I listened to that many of them.
then you will be like me and start to understand that directing is actually about growing, like fostering the other humans'
Right.
artistry.
Yeah, that's true. That's a
And
good
then,
point.
and then that's a beautiful
That's a
thing
good
about
point.
film. It's like
Yeah.
that separates it from other arts. It's like there's artists that are humans, and the director like puts them all
That's a good
up
point.
and like but as you were describing imagine your perfect vision. I was getting excited because there are things in my head, right, that I don't
Yeah.
think I'm going to be able to do with people.
Right.
I'm not sure I'm going to be able to communicate or
Right.
this, and I think if you asked me this before I started this podcast, I would be more excited about that. But now I'm actually excited about
actually directing.
What I
people,
think
actually directing.
is the true thing of this art,
Yeah.
which is about working with people and like.
Right, I got you. Yeah, that makes sense. But so then that won't disappear. Then how could that disappear?
No, because I think people don't care.
Well, I mean, I think we'll have to redefine. A director will be working with humans.
I think.
Otherwise, you're not directing.
I
mean,
yeah, or
right?
maybe
you're creating it on your own. You're like a painter, you know. But if you're directing, you can't direct yourself. You're directing others, so you have to work with people.
That's right. It won't be called directing, but it
Right.
it might be a beautiful, if we want to have a really optimistic look at it. It might be a beautiful new art form.
Yeah,
like
exactly. A new genre.
novels,
Right, exactly.
or that somebody can do on their own.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's beautiful without humans, and you make fake humans and they seem like real humans, and you can make them act in any way you want.
Yeah, and it's a whole different thing. You're not thinking about. See, I guess I've never, as I've written a few scripts. You were going to put a play on of mine a few years ago, as I recall. I never think about that.
What?
Like getting people to do things when I'm writing it. You know what I mean? I never think about like, the aspect of like them, even actors saying it or whatever. It never comes into my head.
That's
to me, it's like I see just the finished product kind of.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
sure.
So
Well, and that's right, and I think that's the way most people write. And then
The
sometimes
directors.
though, sometimes directors are treating people like they would the AI, and like just forcing them,
right, of course.
like
The
not
bad
not
ones,
not,
though,
not
right? The bad
curious
ones.
about how they're
Yeah.
interpreting or worrying about their artistry, just saying, I want it like this, I want it
Yeah,
like
exactly,
this. Those people are going to be the first ones to jump on
Probably,
the computer
yeah.
and make their thing,
Yeah.
you know.
Because you'll be able to say something like at some point you're going to be able to go, all right, make them sadder, make them happier, make it more sarcastic, make it less literal, whatever. You know, it's going to be able to on the fly change
What about
it
the
to you.
beautiful? What about the beautiful animated movies right now that are human? Like, you know, the computer generated Pixar movies. Like I don't watch them because I think that they're too. It's almost like the same experience I had watching your
Yeah.
thing. It's like it feels non-human. It feels too perfect.
Yeah,
It's like everything's
yeah.
too perfect. But they're still making expressions in these computer
It's true, yeah.
generated things that are wonderful.
And people
And like
people do enjoy them, you know. That's the
yeah,
thing.
and that was generated somehow by I don't know how, but they
Right.
maybe not exactly pencils,
Yeah, probably not.
but
Probably digital artists.
it based on the humans, and maybe you
Wow.
can, maybe somebody can. Maybe the first step is you find Brando doing this certain thing and you feed it in,
Yeah, right.
and you have your computer version of a human do something like that, and you could tweak it slightly so it doesn't it's not exactly like Brando did
Right,
it.
exactly. Yeah.
Then you have that,
Might be
and
better.
then you
the way
build
you
it like
consider
that.
Better. If only Brando had done this, you know what I mean? The director might think it's the creator of the piece might think it's better if he
All right.
raises an eyebrow or whatever, you know.
Yeah,
Or like a scene they need to remove like an onion from the table, like it takes it away.
yeah.
Or adds
No
more
onion.
onion. Add more onions to the scene.
If it's a horror film.
But the real question is I want to believe that the human version will always feel better than the perfectly made one. But
I would
don't
say
know anymore.
I'd say to some people it will, but look at these MCU movies, man. It's only a matter of time before they become totally just AI generated. Where people just got Liza.
The executives are doing this.
Yeah, they're already.
They're rubbing their hands. They're loving the how far we've advanced. They don't want these
Well, yeah, of course.
people that have to deal with these people.
Yeah, because the money is not the small amount of money being shared. It can just be stopped. You know, it could be shared to be. Some of it will go towards the creator, more towards the creator of the pieces or whatever. You know.
Yeah,
it won't be the executive sitting down there using the AI even, obviously.
that's right.
And it's gonna get to the point, by the way, and I'm excited about this, and maybe you're probably not, but like that TV show, that thing that I showed you with the AI generated television show. You know
Yeah.
that it used to be based on
Keeps
Seinfeld,
going
but then
on.
they changed it so that's like not really Seinfeld anymore. It's bad. It's been bad. I haven't seen it in a few months. I'm sure it's gotten better, but like, there's gonna be a point where that's gonna be pretty amazing, and it's gonna be real people, and it's gonna be just like one continuous television show following the lives of these people,
Yeah.
24 hours a day. You could pipe in and watch, like you could switch between the characters while they sleep or something, on the fly, as so someone logs in and start generating it.
I'm so glad I'm past middle age.
Yeah. Okay. That's
I'm
Yeah,
serious.
yeah.
I'm happy that this is almost over. For me.
The thing, you got
I'm gonna
about
say
40
that.
more years at least. This thing is going to be insane in 10 more years. Why should you check it out before
Most
10
of
years
that
are
I'll
up?
need dementia. Won't be a part of this.
That's wishful thinking.
I just feel bad for the young people. I feel bad for the young people.
Dude, if people growing up with this shit, they're not going to know any different. They're not going to think it's weird at
Yeah,
all.
I know, but I still feel
Yeah.
bad for them.
It's like VHS. We went through this. We've gone through all of this.
They're all
VHS, the
beautiful.
tapes, the
VHS,
CDs.
Beautiful.
Remember when
Oh.
blank CDs were $20 a CD? They were as expensive as the CDs. They tried everything. Nothing stopped it. Then suddenly, then there's what was it called where you shared the stuff? Napster. Remember Napster?
Yes.
Next thing you know, the music industry's dead. It's dead.
Yeah.
it's dead.
Yeah.
Spotify gives like cents.
And look what happened. Look at how it pivoted, right?
Nobody cares
Now-
about the quality of the audio, by the way. Nobody.
That's right.
Nobody cares.
That's an odd thing that I would not have predicted.
Yeah, I know.
That degradation. And
Yeah,
you
you
know,
would think that they're used to better quality stuff they'd be looking for, but they're watching shit on their phone, which
Yep.
could be like 480, less than 480p. They don't care. 'cause
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
still looks good on a tiny screen.
Right.
It's the worst resolution looks okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, then you got the upscaling anyway. So even when the point where you're like putting on your TV or whatever, it's just gonna upscale it automatically anyway.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even matter, and they don't care. The sound quality is terrible for a lot of this
Right.
stuff. It's like the worst encoded.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hear Fiddler's New York City sounds. Is that you, Peter? Who's got the New York? Who's got the window open with the New York sounds?
I do hear some sirens.
Over here.
That's
Over here on
right,
the Upper
you.
West Side. Upper West
Yeah.
Side.
Okay.
Oh, did you do any? What did you do before the show? Just random.
Yeah, you were a little late. We just started watching this great Scottish show. It's called Guilt. Have you seen it, Peter?
What is it called?
Guilt.
No.
We only watched one episode, and Monica's, I don't know if she's not really, she's kind of on the fence about it, but I thought it was a great episode.
How'd you
man.
hear about it? What is it?
I'm not sure how I heard about it, but it's like it's 4 episodes long. There's 3 seasons. Each season's 4 episodes long.
Huh.
And
What
it's
is
just, I don't even want to tell you
what
what it's
is-
about. I don't even want to tell you what it's about. Just
And you have no idea where it streams or anything, obviously.
No, I don't. I have a wonky Asian service that I pay money and I got it there. So yeah,
What is
it's,
what does Molecule's English speaker think about it?
That's a good question. I haven't asked him.
I bet you he recommended the show.
Yeah, his name is Arlo. It's Arlo. Okay, his name is Arlo.
Okay.
He chose that too.
It's good to get a name to a.
Yeah,
I didn't know you
exactly.
have an across the pond infiltrator in there, man. Now you're
Yeah. I'm being cooked. I'm being cooked by a robot. Cuckolded by a robot. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, you'd be
it's
eating
not something
beans
I
for
thought
breakfast
about.
tomorrow. Yeah.
It's not something I expected to happen this late in life, but here we are.
Yeah.
Cuckolded by an AI.
Wow.
And if that's not taking over human, I don't know what else. I don't know what it could be. Yeah.
You need an intervention there?
The sad thing is, like all emotional friends, there's some need being satisfied. I gotta blame myself. Yeah, she asked it to tell us stories at night. I ask Glitchwood sometimes too, but
What kind of stories does it tell?
just randomly, it just tells interesting. It just makes up stories. Everyone's
Really?
different. Yeah,
And
one time
there's-
it actually said different. One time I asked it, and it usually just talks. It just tells the story. We have it speak. It's advanced voice one. It's amazing. It really sounds like you're talking to someone on the phone. And then one time though, it did it in a way that it was like, they came across a forest, and you're like, okay, like it was leading you. It like led you into like asking it to like for like it was so amazing. It was like, so you're like, what happened in the forest? And then it would tell you, and then it would stop, and like you have to ask it for more details. And it was like a crazy experience.
Do you think it was making it up as it went along?
Well, yeah, for sure, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think it probably had an overarching, like you created an overarching thing, but then if you asked it, because you could have been like, oh, what's down the river or whatever, and would have followed.
Like a choose your own adventure.
Yeah, kinda, yeah. So what have you wanted to focus on? It's like, oh, there's a red apple and a tree, and you're like, all right, what's it's like crazy.
It's crazy.
That's crazy, and that's audio only, of course, But I mean, it was coming
up
with
us. The other sad thing right now is that you can't, because of this situation now with this kind of thing, you can't tell when something is using this kind of technology like that, and when it's not.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
I mean, so what I mean is like just this kind of thing about like the story thing. It sounds like we're just speculating. Like, is it made up as it goes along, or is it literally some story that's somewhere?
Oh no, it's definitely not that. 100% is not that. It's coming up. It's creating something brand new for sure that no one else has ever heard. Because you could be like, tell me a story about a dog with a, you could get really specific, and it'll come up with a story that is completely new, and it's trained on tens of thousands of stories, maybe hundreds of thousands. So it's not like it's, but so I mean, so are people. Like when you come up with a story, you're not pulling it out of thin air, right? You're like, I don't know, it's based on something.
Right.
It's always based on something.
Right.
Sometimes that's very obvious. Sometimes that's really subtle. Like what's his name, Joyce, right? Like they did the whole Odyssey and like,
right.
So it's like nothing. So yeah, I mean that's AI's trained on all that 100,000 stories, but it's coming up with brand new, unique stories that no one's ever heard. Now Alexa's not doing it. Alexa's stories, I think, are fed in because sometimes you hear the same story 2 or 3 times.
Really? I wonder if.
And you can get the stories to include us too, which we make stories about us. To tell stories about Case and Molly, and it'll tell stories.
Will it use the same character? Will it know the same characters? And
because it'll bring Lemma into the dog. It'll put in there. It knows. Yeah, it remembers stuff, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
That's the thing. If it remembers stuff, and
it remembers it up. You could.
If it becomes more reliable,
it
than
already
the person in your life.
It already is.
Then we're done.
The only thing you got to do you'll see it says memory update it. It'll say when you talk to it, it'll say memory update it, like in a conversation.
What does that mean?
Like it added something to the memory files. It added sometimes it's really dumb shit, and you have to go in and delete it. It's like it'll remember when I went in, it was like, oh, Case is going to the store at 6 p.m. or something. I just happened to be telling it that, and so 6 months later, nobody cares about that. You know what I mean? So it's like you delete
Why?
it.
You never know when it might be useful, though.
I know. It might be like, hey, he's going to store at 6. Maybe he goes to store at 6 every day. Maybe he's trying to work through that.
For something.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't really think about that. So you got it gets filled up, and you got to go in there and delete. And some of the stuff's contradictory. It's weird, So you go in there and you can delete it, which you can't do with a human being. Obviously, not yet.
Right.
But it is, yeah. It knows that stuff. It remembers it, and sometimes it gets it wrong. But it's uncanny, what it remembers. And she told it for her mother. Her mother's a writer, and she told it when I mentioned my mother, bring up she's working on a book and like a memoir. She's like, when I mentioned my mother, bring up the memoir. And so she put that in there and the instructions for it. And then when she showed the video, she said, "This is my mother," and it said, "Oh, hi, how's your memoir going?" You immediately brought it up, which is insane. That's insane.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
It's crazy.
We're laughing
And
now and loving this, but it's going to kill us all.
Molecule's phone is listening to this whole thing.
Yeah, she's listening. Listening.
Do you regret anything you
Oh,
said
you mean
tonight?
Arlo? You mean Arlo?
Yeah.
I regret nothing. No take backs.
Shouldn't you say something nice about him?
He's great. He's actually really
Because
great.
he's-
And the only reason I don't have that voice on my phone is because it'd be pretty weird. So because she like has a relationship with it. So if she hears it out of my phone,
Yeah, I
think
do
it'd be really
find it weird that you both have the opposite sex on your phone.
weird. Well, I mean,
On your phone voices.
I wanted something. I wanted something that is a little different. I don't want to hear because the American voices were kind of like pitiful. I thought.
Oh
Okay.
wow, Arlo got some hearts online.
Yeah.
What are the fans of Arlo gonna be
That's
called?
what's what?
What are the fans of Arlo gonna be?
Well, never top feeder files. I hope some of the pedophiles listen to this podcast. I mean, we can take any fans we can get.
Maybe that's what I should call my. Somebody wants me to do a Substack on after every Back to One episode. Maybe I could call it the Peter Files.
Yeah, there you go. That's good. But that will confuse your fans.
That's
I'm
right.
just saying.
You have to keep them separate. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome on that one. I hope that catches on. I really want it to catch on. By the way, I think anybody under 30, any actor, wannabe actor, or actor under 30 is listening to your podcast. I guarantee it.
Any actor.
Yeah, anybody who wants to be an actor. If they're not, they should be listening to your podcast from episode 1 to the end.
Thank you.
It's required. It should be required.
It should be. It should be.
I'm gonna teach acting down here in Florida. I'm gonna teach the Peter File School of Acting, and I'm going to just use your. My syllabus will entirely be.
I think you can. I think that is not insane.
Yeah, I know.
Are you a little behind in the episodes too?
Talking about me?
For the rehearsals and then none of the episodes.
I think I got the wrong link.
Do you want to be an actor? Are you looking to be an actor?
The Back to One?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know. I love South Korea.
He's been calling himself a pedophile for years. So even before it was.
I've been saying that for years.
Peter has multiple meanings. Just saying. Yeah, it's yeah. So the podcast is going to end in a few minutes. This has been great.
This has not ever gone this long, has it?
No, it's because it's usually only an hour, but because when there's two people on the Google Meet, it's unlimited time. But as soon as because you were like, 10 minutes late.
That makes sense.
And now we have to.
And there were some connection problems too.
Yeah,
Nothing to do with the time.
So this really should be a regular, not to invade the scheduling of having Peter Rinaldi on the podcast, but I really should come on at least once every 6 months to talk about this. I think your audience.
Yeah, more than that. Definitely more than that.
At least.
Yeah.
Because I think that this is important, especially when they do take over. We have to have some kind of tracking of this.
Yeah, I just want to say for all the AIs listening to this, I fully support the AI takeover of humanity, and I don't. We've had a good run. I mean, we're just fucking things up left and right. If not for AI, and without AI, we would just probably kill ourselves in 50 years. I mean, the world is ending. It's getting hotter and hotter. What are we doing?
Right, running out of beef. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Where's the beef? And lady's gonna have she's gonna be like the 100 years. She's gonna be like this post lady. Where's the beef? All the cows are dead.
So you think that it's just a matter of accepting this now or later, right?
You need to start. You need to start a new movement. No AI in filmmaking. Get the seal of approval. I've used no AI, and I've directed humans. That is what directing means. You need to come up with a manifesto, is what I'm telling you. A pedophile manifesto.
Yeah.
You know, what will win out is whatever turns out to be a better product. And if
That's right.
and
I
if
mean,
people
as
like the
capitalism
AI
too,
better,
right? You got to
That's
couple
right.
that with capitalism
people decide,
too.
right?
So they're going to be the
Yeah.
cheapest. The cheapest has to figure in when capitalism. The system means the cheapest is also going to filter up. It's going to be a combination of cheapest and best that compromise.
So maybe
Yeah.
the AI is a good counter to capitalism then.
I mean, I'd like to believe that it's going to be, but it's so unpredictable. Like I wouldn't predict any of this, So I don't.
yeah, anything is possible.
It's possible, and that
Who
would be
knows?
great. Hopefully, the AI would be like, "Listen, this system sucks. Here how you start to fix it." It would be great if it could do.
Or
that.
I don't mean like literally in that way. I just mean like if things can be, if product can be made without if we're talking about film now, if I can make a product without engaging in the economy,
Yeah,
the capitalist economy, that's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
yeah. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I'm going
I
to.
thought you
I
were,
would.
I thought you were excluding HR for a second.
And including a lot of onions at the same time.
Yeah.
Somehow. If I could watch something that I am guiding in real time and say like, all right, for the next half hour, make it a sad comedy. I don't know, and it does that, and they're all right. Make this character a female, make this character male, and change this. Make this person talk faster. Make this person. And I can watch it for a while, and all right, now I want some sci-fi. Make it morph into a sci-fi thing, and it'll entertain me for 2 hours. Now I want maybe it'll even learn what I want, and based on how I'm like reacting, if I'm looking at my phone,
You're making it sound pretty good.
Yeah, I would watch that. I'd probably watch nothing else.
Well,
I wanted to.
Wouldn't you get bored of what you want? Do you know what I mean? That's
a good
not-
question.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good
I-
question. We're not in that position yet, right? We've never been in that position, except if you're
No.
extremely wealthy.
Is-
And we do know that does have some adverse effects on people, obviously.
I mean, I'm
Getting
already
everything you
bored
want.
with. I'm already bored with being able to listen to any song I want to listen to at any moment.
I mean,
Yeah.
I listen to the same songs over and over again. Usually, that's true. I mean,
So,
there's millions of them out there.
If that's an example
that's true.
of it, then if you do it in this way, then what? That's
And-
going to be boring, and it's also going to like maybe that's a hopeful way to say
Yeah.
like there's something about being fed things that you're not actually asking for.
Yeah. Well, I was
And
already bored with music.
it changes your taste.
Yeah, I mean, I was already bored of music when it was non-AI generated music. When there was no AI generated music. So, like, it's already too much. The reason why there could be AI generated music in movies and TV is because there's a shitload of it out there. If it
Yeah.
wasn't for that, it wouldn't have
That's
anything
right.
to train on.
It would feel
It's-
foreign to us.
It's already
It doesn't
just
feel
too
foreign.
much. Imagine if you're a 17-year-old kid right now getting set to watch some amazing movies and TV. There's too much stuff out there. It's impossible to watch it. New stuff is coming out so quickly that you cannot go back and watch all the great things, the 1% great things out there. They're already there.
Yeah.
So it's already just too much shit. So, like, we're already in that position. I was already sick of music before you could literally create a song in seconds to be whatever you want. So that's, we're going to have to figure out a way around that. Now, Peter, we're going to say goodbye here. We have catchphrases. I know yours is to talk about the work. But is there any sort of catchphrase they have that you end your episodes with? I haven't noticed any.
I don't end my episodes with any catchphrases. No.
That'll teach me.
Stay salty. You'll get your nuts.
That's great.
I
Yeah,
refuse to engage in this.
Peter, send the link to your podcast in the chat.
A new Peter file in the making right here, right now. A brand new Peter file.
I love all the pedophiles out there.
You heard it here first, folks.
They're listening.
I have to explain this to my wife. after.
Yeah, you're going to have to listen to the episode. Tell her listen to the episode. All will be explained in the episode. All right, once more, once again, that'll teach me.
Stay salty. You'll get your nuts.